Hey everybody, this is Harry coming to you from Live Oak, Florida. Dang, double chin. Gotta lose some weight here. Anyways, it's that time of the month where we have our grumpy, we used to be called grumpy old bastards. Now we are called the grumpy gentleman on film. And keep trying to remember that. And we've done two so far. If we did one in November, our first one was in November, Three Women, Robert Altman film. And December we had, which was my pick, was The Searchers, John Ford film. And then this month is Mike's pick. And I had mentioned before in the video that it was like I elect a pope to figure out which movie to do. So we dwindled it down because everybody happened to have this. Not everybody wants to go out and purchase a movie. I guess if they don't really have to, they shouldn't have to. But anyways, that's in my library. But I had to buy another copy because when I went to go watch it, and I pulled out the case from my shelf, and the movie's missing. I have 4 small grandchildren that live with me, besides the 9-year-old daughter. She knows not to mess with my movies, but the grandchildren love to rearrange, open up cases, and such like that. So I have a hard time fighting with them to keep my stuff alone. And so I had to order me the movie, and it's Notorious. Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, 1946. And I had to upgrade to Criterion. Am I going to cry? No. Because the other one I had was a Selznick film, I guess. It also came with you can buy it in a triple pack or something like that, where it has Spellbound and Strangers on a Train. But the print wasn't that good. But the Criterion here looks lovely. I'm glad they brought this back out on Blu-ray. It looks great. So the other chaps have already talked about what the film is about. Ingrid Bergman's character, Alicia Huberman, is daughter of a spy who got convicted down in Miami. And of course, this was right around World War II. And Cary Grant is a agent. His name is Devlin, and he is to help guide her and convince her to meet up with Alexander Sebastian, played by my favorite Claude Rains. And so basically, everybody pretty much knows the plot of this. If you watch the other gentlemen's reviews, they pretty much told you exactly what happened. Yeah, my thoughts on this film is this is Cary Grant's second film with Hitchcock. The other one, first one being Suspicion with Joan Fontaine, and then after Notorious, Cary didn't make another film with Hitchcock again until 1955, To Catch a Thief, and then again I want to say 1958-59 with North by Northwest, which is my favorite Hitchcock Grant film. And this one here, and Ian mentioned it in his video, and I thought about this too after rewatching. I've watched this several times. I've had it on video cassette and through the years, and different formats. I had it on DVD at one time. I had a burned copy of it. Somebody burned the Criterion DVD, the original Criterion DVD, for me, with all the special features and stuff like that back in the day. And But watching it again, and actually when I watched it the other night, I didn't realize this, the MacGuffin. You know, if you're familiar with Hitchcock, there's always a MacGuffin. Like in North by Northwest, the MacGuffin, which is kind of like, okay, we're going to get these microfilm, and actually it kind of leads you astray. It's not exactly what the film's about, but and here it's the wine, bottle of champagne. I mean, with the or wine with the uranium in it. Ooh, spoiler alert. So I didn't realize that it was actually in the beginning, towards the beginning of the film, Cary Grant falls in love with Ingrid Bergman, or vice versa. They both fall in love with each other. Ingrid is kind of a drinker, kind of a floozy, so say at the beginning of the movie. That's how she is portrayed, and and then eventually they go down to South America, Brazil, and I believe it's Brazil. And anyways, the bottle of wine is the MacGuffin, and he was in. He had the bottle of wine with him. Uh, and then he's looking for her, and she goes, "Well, what's the matter?" Because he kind of looked distressed. He said, "Oh, I'm looking for the bottle of wine." And then it leads to a party. Later on, there's a party at Sebastian's house, and there's the wine or champagne up on the wall in the casks. Um, so, anyways, that's one of the things I noticed in there. I'm terrible at these reviews. Talking about it, but Ian had mentioned this in his video. Cary Grant didn't. Joseph Cotton was wanted for this role, which I think he probably would have been perfect for, but as a romantic role to woo Ingrid Bergman, it wouldn't have worked. Cary Grant was probably perfect for that part, but it seems like he was not enthused in this role as much. I do not believe. Let me look at the poster real quick. Oh yeah, he did get top billing over Ingrid Bergman, even though I think it's more of an Ingrid Bergman film than it is a Cary Grant film. But he didn't seem Cary Grantish, as Ian would say. Not until towards the end, when he goes in and saves Alicia's life after she had been poisoned. The main thing that stuck out for me, or main person that stuck out in here, was Claude Rains. I always love Claude Rains. Anything he does, or any film he's in, I always love watching him. And as Alexander Sebastian, a very jealous man. He very jealous of Devlin, and makes and it's known, and that was the whole point. Actually, was to be that way. The whole plot, but Claude Rains' performance in this film is great. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in this film, and he wound up losing it and not winning. I don't know, anything he does. Ever since I saw him, Claude Rains, in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, when he played the senator, the performance at the end where, Jimmy Stewart, when he passes out and after the filibuster, and then Claude Rains just kind of just goes, it's my fault. I give up. I want to kill myself. And best scene. My favorite movie with Claude is in Casablanca. Bergman gives a good performance here. Probably not her best performance. I think Gaslight would probably be one of her better performances in the 40s that I can think of. This is their second film with not Grant, but second film with Hitchcock. The other one being Spellbound. This would be the first film she ever did with Cary Grant. She did another film with him in the 50s called Indiscreet. It was a color romance farce type thing. Pretty good. I have it on Blu-ray. And I thought they worked well together, Grant and Bergman, especially the scene at the end. I remember, I think it was on the commentary on one of the issues I had, or I read it somewhere, that the kiss that they had was supposed to be longer in the film, um, and they because you can only kiss the code of decency, Catholic decency, whatever you want to call it, back then didn't. They had rules, and you couldn't kiss for more than 3 seconds on screen. And so Hitch kind of did that thing where he pans around uh, Cary Grant's head, and then comes on the other side where Ingrid Bergman, and that's how he cheated to getting that kiss in for longer than 3 minutes. So, as a propaganda film, I think it's a good film. Uh, not the best film. Not of the best of Hitch's films. Kind of along the line of Shadow of a Doubt for me here, which a lot of people love, and actually Hitch's favorite film. And this is actually Notorious, according to Wikipedia, is Hitch's daughter, Pat Hitchcock. This is her favorite film of all time. So I rambled on enough about this film, because I really don't have a script, and I need a script. I need notes. And then everything I say comes out flubber. But anyways, I think you should pick it up. It's on the Criterion. I like the little key thing here. That's another thing with the MacGuffin. But it is not the best performance. If I rated this one actually on Cary Grant, if I rated Cary Grant's films with Alfred Hitchcock, this would probably be the third favorite. The first one would be North by Northwest. Second one would be To Catch a Thief. Notorious would be third, and fourth would be Suspicion. There's Claude Rains right there. Great actor. I just ordered two. Kind of did a J thing. I went on eBay trying to find a cheap Criterion. Find it cheaper, and I found a movie called Here Comes Mr. Jordan from 1941 with Claude Rains in it, for $20. So Blu-ray sealed. So I did that with William Wilder, film Ace in the Hole too. But anyways, is it worth a pickup? Is it worth a watch? It most definitely is. It's not a bad movie. It kind of slogs along. There's not much action to it. A lot of dialogue into it. The most favorite scene in here for me, also the other, a couple of scenes. Before I keep wanting to wrap this up, but I keep wanting to bullshit. Is the shot on the crane shot going down the stairwell right to Alicia's hand with the key in the back of her hand. That's another favorite shot. Famous shot, but one of my favorite shots in the film. And at the end, very end, where where Cary Grant is walking Ingrid Bergman down the stairs. Matter of fact, Claude Rains in this movie, his character is a mama's boy. His mama lives with him and kind of does whatever she says. Asks to her for advice and such. She's such a bitch in this movie. I really wish Cary Grant would have popped one right in her skull, but he wasn't that type of player. So character. Now I forgot my train of thought. Anyways, pick it up on Criterion. It's probably to be the best you'll ever see it. It is preserved. The National Library of Congress, or the National Film Registry. It's on the National Film Registry to be preserved. And Hitchcock, Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman. You can't go wrong. Great film. Watch the other guys' videos if you can. Our new channel is up. Starting next month, we'll be starting to post videos to that. I'll try to remember to post a link to the channel below. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome. And I hope I didn't put you to sleep. Bye. I hope you're all right.